All right, so here's the scoop. For the community nights I've been doing a bunch of servers on demand for 4 cents an hour, which is pretty awesome. And I wanted to share how to do this with everyone, because you can have your own private 128 tick. What's up, awesome? 128 tick server for 4 cents an hour anytime you want, which is pretty sweet. And what I do is I go to SoftLayer. You can do this on Rackspace or other cloud providers as well. The key is to get the right level of performance on Rackspace. I think it's like Performance Plus or something. But if you go here and you just want to set up a server, SoftLayer virtual servers, 4 cents an hour. You get a CPU, you get a whole thing. And one trick is you got to find a data center that has availability. So sometimes you have to try different data centers and different configurations. But the main thing, so what I do for the OS is Ubuntu, 12.04 LTS, LAMP install. Why? Because I know it works. And I don't want to mess with it tons and tons. I already know it works, you know. All the other stuff is pretty much default. It's going to say, okay, not available for that server. So one thing to check is whether the disk is local or SAN sometimes makes a difference. And then what data center obviously makes a difference. So there you go. Changed it from SAN to local. And yeah, anyone will be able to play on the server that I'm about to create. And actually, so the other thing is put for your host name, put in something. So I have watchspade.com. I think you don't actually need to own the domain that you put here, maybe, because I don't know that they check it. But you can just say, you know, CSGO at watchspade.com. And that's required to create the server. Just put it in like that with the .com, and you'll be okay. If you're creating a new account, they're going to pre-charge you $1. I already have an account. I already created a server. So actually, all I need to do is SSH into it right now. So to do SSH on a PC, you need a program called PuTTY. If you just search for SSH on Windows, you'll see PuTTY as the top result. You can download it here. It's just this exe file. I've already downloaded it. So I'll go to my downloads folder and double click on putty.exe. It runs, it comes up like this. So what I want to do is I want to connect to the IP address that it gives me for my server when I make it, which is really funky that it actually gives me 2 different IP addresses. I gotta figure out which one it is. Virtual computing, and it's going to tell me that the IP address is 184.173.70.98. So we're going to hit open, and it's going to open up a window that gives me a security alert, and I go, yes, I want to go ahead and try it. And then it opens up a terminal window that looks like this. And so I want to log in as root, and the password that SoftLayer provided me with, which you will get if you create a server. It'll say in your dashboard, it says what the password is. I'm going to type it in. The cursor won't move. At least it shouldn't. With a little luck, that works. Okay, good. So now we are logged into SSH on the virtual machine that we have created. The next thing you need is something called the CSGO Server Launcher script. It's actually linked from the Valve wiki, but it's on GitHub. github.com/crazy-max/csgo-server-launcher. It's right here. I'll try and figure out if I can post these in the notes on a Twitch VOD. I'm not sure. But if I can, I'll post them there. And if not, when I eventually get this to YouTube, I'll post it there. So what you can do is you can, for example, just highlight everything, copy it, open up Notepad or whatever equivalent you want, paste it in. And there's a couple of things we need to modify. First, we need to get the IP address right, because the IP address needs to match your server's IP address, which in my case is 184.173.70. .98. Port to a 27015 default is fine. We can install to var steam cmd, I think. Steam login, anonymous, that's fine. It comes, so they've got so here's a neat thing is with this script, you can put in a collection ID that you want the map collection to come from, and you can put in a start map, which is, I think this is Dust right now. You set your max players. I usually use them for competitive, so I set it to like 12, and then tick rate right here, 128. You have a 128 tick server. The other thing is this API authorization key. If you go to this link that's provided right here in the document, you can get your API authorization key. I happen to have mine over here somewhere, and I'm not going to. I'm going to try to A, get this to work, and B, not show that on my stream. So I'm going to put it in over here. And it's going to take just a half a second because I need to, actually I'm going to just move it over using Evernote because it's long. Believe it or not, it is a long key. New note, in spade. So what that API key does is it allows you to run servers and interact with the Steam API and do all of those nice things that we need to do to get this running. Anything that I've like sort of glossed over way too much so far, or that you guys are confused about, feel free to throw that into chat. Every community night does not cost me, probably doesn't cost me $10, but it costs me some money. You know, let's do the math. 4 cents an hour, 5 servers, 20 cents an hour. So 5 hours, $1. Okay, so let me get my API key pasted into here. And the right value. Okay, so then here's what we can do. There's a nice built-in from SSH. We can do everything else from this little scary text SSH terminal. You can, so right now, we're just going to do it as root, which is fine. We can see there's nothing in this directory. ls shows the directory. I don't know if you can read the text in the terminal. Hopefully you can. If you can't, I don't really know how to make it bigger. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to type nano launcher.sh. Nano is just a built-in sort of really lightweight text editor. Control V should paste all of the stuff that I copied from Notepad. Apparently it doesn't. That's going to be awkward. There we go. Except now, how many times have I pasted it? Hopefully just one. Okay, and then Control X to exit. Hit Y and enter, and that's made sure that you hitting Y tells the Nano program that you want it to actually save the changes you made, and then enter actually exits with the changes. Now we need to do a couple of Linux commands. We need to chmod the file, chmod ++ x launcher.sh. What that means is that tells the server that this is a file, this is a script that it is okay to execute. It's not a virus, it's not something weird. And then we're going to do, we need a little program called screen. So we're going to say apt-get install screen. It'll just do a little stuff, and while it's doing that, what it's really doing is it's going to that other server and getting the screen app, downloading it, installing it. So now screen is installed on the server. That'll come in later when we want to actually manage the CSGO server we have running. Now // I think it's called launcher.sh space create. Steam. Oh, right. Let's set a different. Apparently you can't do that one. We want to be in home, cd home. Okay, so we're going to do home steam cmd. So in that launcher.sh file, instead of doing /var.steamcmd, we'll do home/steamcmd. So it will look like this /home/steamcmd. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, okay, go back to my root directory. I'm going to create the file again, nanolauncher.sh, Control V, wait for the paste to happen. I hope. It did ultimately work last time. And sorry about a little. That's what I get for doing anything different from what I do for community nights. Why are we not? Okay, weird. Just a delay. Save the file out. chmod +x launcher.sh /launcher.sh create. Could not create homesteamcd. Well, that's awkward because that's what happens when I. That's not what happens when I do this for community night. What have I done differently? I just try doing it in root, I guess. Ready for live troubleshooting? So this is why doing it live is so much harder than doing it in for YouTube, because then I can just edit it. Unknown ID Steam. What does it mean, unknown ID Steam? Oh, that's because I didn't set my user. I'm an idiot. My user is root. That's a very important one. So there, we've debugged it. This is because I was doing it all from scratch. So the user is root. That you need to change to root if you're gonna, or whatever the username of the user you're using for this is. And then, like magic, the launcher file will download the steamcmd utility, install steamcmd, which is the utility that you use to install a CSGO server. It will then, after it is done downloading that steamcmd utility, it will then actually install the server on the server software, the dedicated server, on your server. And right now, I guess it's waiting for license info. So hopefully my my API key is right. So this will take 10 or 15 minutes, and it kind of depends on how busy the Valve servers are, the Steam servers. Sometimes it fails, and it looks like it's like an error that's gonna screw you up, but it's really all you have to do is just retry it and just keep trying until it comes on. Like sometimes it just takes 3-4 attempts for it to go through on the Steam servers. And then once you're done with that, you just change directory, CD, to the CSGO install directory, which in this case is cd/root/steam/game/csgo/CFG for config. And that's where you drop in, it's easy way to do it is just go to Civo.com, download the Civo config. I don't know why that thing floats right there. Download the Civo configs version 5.0, and you'll get a little CFG file, which if you open it in your text editor, it looks like this, has all of the Civo variables set, and you can just copy and paste civo.cfg into that CFG directory, and you're 90% there. The other thing you need to do, the one more thing you need to do if you want to set a server password and an Archon password is you need to create a server.cfg file. And the server.cfg file goes in the same directory, and it just says, I'm gonna make one now. I'm not sure if hostname is the right one, but I think it's the right one. I'll double check. We want, yeah, hostname's right. And then you want to set Archon password, my password, and And SV password is the join password. So SV password is the one that lets people join. And this is the one that lets you change maps, etc. And so once you've put those two files in the directory, so here we see that the app is downloading from the server. It's at 38%. Depending on how much longer it takes, maybe I'll play a little deathmatch or something while we wait for it to install. But once this is installed, we'll be able to paste the server config file that I created here. Save it. Desktop. We'll paste using the same technique that we did for the launcher.sh file. We'll change directory to the right directory. We will copy and paste this in, and then we'll do the same with the Civo config. And then what's nice about the Civo config is then you can go, once you're archoned into your server, you can do, for example, archon exec Civo, and it will just do all of these commands, and you'll be set up to play a 10-man, which is basically how we're set up for community night. I just do this for 5 servers every Tuesday, i.e. tonight, and we hop on and play 10-mans. And then when they're done, I cancel the server, and each server is 4 cents an hour. So there's a little bit of a hassle to set it up, but it's not bad if you want to do team practice, if you want to just play some 10-mans, if you need it for a Civo open match or something like that. It's actually a really convenient way to just have a nice, your own private 128 tick server if you don't want to spend 10, 15 bucks a month on it or more, depending on who your host is. And you only need it for a couple hours a month. This is a great way to do it, in my opinion. So hopefully this is helpful to folks. We'll stall for a few minutes while it completes installing so that you guys have a sense of how long it really takes to do it. Are there any questions so far? I know Ms. Veggie said something about donations for community night. The thing is, I play CSGO significantly for fun, and I have a day job, and I'm not, I don't know. It feels a little weird to be asking for donations. But yeah, maybe someday if it gets expensive. Oh, there we go. CSGO installed. How's that for stalling? That was good. So now we should see Steam CMD in our directory. Can you read this? We'll find out later if you can even read the console. And so in here we have games. This is the default for that launcher script. CD CSGO. And now we can go to CSGO again. And then I think it's just CFG. So here we are in CFG. This is where we put our config files. I'm going to do nano server.cfg, and I'm going to take the server.cfg contents, paste it in here. By the way, for some reason, if I right click on the screen after I do that, it pastes it in. Don't know why, so that's what I did there. And then I'm going to do nano civo.cfg, and we're going to go here to this, copy, paste, right click, and there we go. Control X, Y to say yes, save it, exit, and now we have our server. So at this point we go back to the root directory, we go back to our trusty friend the launcher script, /launcher.sh start. And now we have our server. It's started up. And the nice thing is we don't have to look at the console anymore because we installed Screen earlier. And if we want to see the console, we go /launcher.sh console. So now we can see the console here. Everything's booting up. It looks okay. It's looking for maps in the workshop. By the way, the more maps you have in your workshop collection, the longer it's going to take for the server to get wound up and going. Every time it downloads a map, it kind of gives a little hiccup. So we can go and actually insert console commands here. So change level DE dust2. It's going to change the level for everyone on the server, which is nobody at the moment, unless you guys joined already. And then if we want to leave the console without shutting down the server, this is important. You hit Control, and while you're holding Control, you hit A, and then you let go of both and you hit D. And that is the way to detach from the console using Screen. So now we can go to our, hang on, actually, let me get the server IP. We can go to this server by going into game and opening up the console, which if you've I've got the console coming up automatically. If you haven't, it's tilde. You type connect, the IP address 270.1.5. We actually need to know what our connect password is, which is join me. And I think that we do a semicolon password join me. And with a little luck, we'll drop right into the server. Oh, password's bad. What am I doing wrong on my you guys know this better than I do. Oh yeah, there's a space, I think. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So this is where we go to our console and we see what's going on. Usually, if you... Okay. Is it the password or is it the... Usually if you change the level, it'll kind of reset things a little bit. Steam, CMD, games, CSGO, CFG. Oops. Steam, CMD, games, CSGO, CFG. Nano server.cfg. Password is join me. Oops, I didn't need to tip Y because I didn't change anything. So, connect. With great fanfare, with great anticipation. 270.1.5. Password join me. Come on. Come on, baby. Do it. Do it. Hooray! We're getting there. All right, awesome. So now we can do Archon password, my password, Archon bot kick, Archon exec Sivo. And now we're ready to play a 10-man. What you gotta do is MP restart game. I have a hotkey for that. Archon MP restart game 1. And there we go.